Hi, I'm Roberto Martinez and you're watching Toffee TV.
Welcome back to Toffee TV. We're here with the Bleacher Report Team Stream app to basically talk about something that's been bugging us for a while, Baz. The media trying to sell Ross Barkley under our feet. It's always, every year it's one player or another, but now they've decided that Ross Barkley's going to Manchester. I'm not sure where in Manchester, but somewhere in Manchester.
He's decided he's going anywhere but staying at Everton, basically. Yeah, I mean, he's just signed a new 4-year contract extension in the summer at the press conference for it. In fact, he hasn't kicked the ball for us since he signed it, being injured, and he's coming back hopefully this weekend, and obviously that's where the stories have begun again, but it is a bit annoying. It's been going on for years now. Leighton Baines was every summer till, you know, he got probably too old for Manchester United to buy him. Seamus Coleman has been another one. You know, and Barkley is the great white British hope for carry us through for the next 15 years. Therefore, he must play for one of the Manchester clubs.
It doesn't really seem to happen to anyone else. It only seems to happen to us, really, doesn't it? I mean, is that just because we do have a good turn out of talent? So therefore, because we haven't got loads of money, it's a very, very easy story.
I think it's an easy story because we're easy pickings, we're seen as easy pickings, although if you actually go back over kind of the last 6, 7, 8 years, name me some players who've left Everton because we haven't been able to keep hold of them, who you're devastated about. The only one I can, obviously Wayne Rooney, that was going back 10 years. The next one after that, if he couldn't keep it, I was disappointed with, was Jolie Lescott. Other than that,
I was also when Joe Max Moore left.
Oh, well, that was a devastating moment. But you know, when you look back, the players who've left, like Jack Rodwell, people might quote, but he was seen as a saleable asset. He got us some money that enabled us to get the likes of PR and people like that kind of thing. But other than that, any other player, the media have done the best to sell them, but it's not been one where it's kept me awake at night worrying about whether they'll go or stay. And I think if we had a rich financial backer, these stories would probably be less and less.
And other players have proved that if a homegrown talent sticks around, they can have a fulfilling career. You know, they can make the most of it, what they can, don't they? You know, it might sound silly for some people, but I look at people, someone like Toffee, who stuck around at his home team club, eventually won the league for them. Then now he's in the Champions League with them, and he could have gone anywhere he wanted to, but he stuck with a club that may not be the most fashionable club in the world, but to him it meant the world. And you know, that's what you want from a player like Ross Barkley. If he believes Everton, if he loves Everton, then he can gradually become the captain and be the embodiment of that club.
Comes down to the player's will, doesn't it? Matt Letizia done it at Southampton, was criticised, wasn't he, for staying put. Steven Gerrard stayed at Liverpool when he, despite not winning leagues and stuff. Okay, they won other stuff, but you know, the few and far between those players, you know, who stayed. I think for Barkley to stay at Everton will have to be in and around the Champions League places, certainly up there and able to reward them. I think it is the player's desire. It's up to him. If he wants to stay here and do all of that in an Everton shirt, then why not?
We've heard in the last week or so Everton have sort of issued a hands off. Now, does that mean that maybe in the shadowy background of football agents there is something going on? Maybe there are dark forces trying to seduce Ross Barkley away from Everton?
Quite sure there are. I'm quite sure there are with every player. You know, you've got a player who's doing well. These people exist, don't they? Which is agents are, you know, the worst thing about football. Can be the best thing about football. They're also the worst thing about football. But I think Everton issuing a hands-off plea, as some local media put it, I think that's the local media looking for the story. I think Everton's stance has been pretty much the same all the way through. He's not for sale. The player himself said in a press conference in July or August, whenever it was, I think it was July, wasn't it? He said he doesn't want to play for anybody else. He only wants to stay here. This is where he sees his future. He wants to play for Everton. He's never told me. I don't think the club have come out and issued anything. I think that's just, you know, in response to a story. People will get nervous, and Evertonians will get agitated. It's happened before with players, you know, tapped up or unsettled, shall we say. And the hope is that it doesn't happen to Barkley. If he's as good as what his potential is, we will have to deal with this for as long as he stays here, because he looks like he could be an absolutely world-class footballer, and world-class footballers attract a lot of attention.
And as you just mentioned, there's not many that have gone away. and done successfully well. Okay, Wayne Rooney's won everything, but some people still think he hasn't fulfilled his potential. You know, so you look at Rodwell now and see where he is. You see all the players that left in the past, the likes of Michael Ball and Richard Dunn. You know, even Jolie and Lescott to an extent. You know, they're not.
Melly,
no, but you know what I mean.
League titles.
Wasn't the main man in the team, though, was he?
No, what I think. I see where you're going, and that's right, but there's a lot that can be said about any young player, particularly going to the likes of Manchester City, who are, you know, fantastic squad and all that. You can look at Scott Sinclair, who was doing very well at Swansea, scoring goals, playing very well. Went to Man City, played about 4 games and has ended up at West Brom on loan and can't get his game. Jack Rodwell, did he make 7 starts, I think, in 2 years for City? So, you know, these are players. Barkley would go and get in because he's good enough to play in that side, but is he going to be in and out? How much does it mean to him to go? And there's got to be a kind of slowing down point where young players aren't necessarily having to be herded into other clubs. If Everton is 17, when Wayne Rooney left, Everton finished that season 17.
Yeah.
Didn't get on with the manager. The club allegedly tried to sell him behind his back, you know, before the European Championships. And Everton were a team at that time. Okay, we finished 4th a year later, but we could have sat here then and said, where will Everton finish next season? And none of us, camera crew included, people knocking cups in the background would have said the same. None of us would have said 4th, would we? And Rooney couldn't see that, and he said in his press conference, if Everton would have been near the Champions League places, I wouldn't be sat here today. So there's that kind of thing. So the challenge for Everton to keep the likes of Ross Barkley, James Coleman, John Stones, James McCarthy as we move forward, they're the 4 who we're all looking at as being a core, is to ensure that they're working at the right end of the table. And okay, 1st and 2nd is beyond Everton, probably financially, but certainly 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th isn't.
And if you're a Blue and you want to show you're a Blue, you stick around and prove it, don't you? And you try and win things, and there's no better thing. And the most important thing is Liverpool City Centre's got 2 Nando's. I mean, let's be honest, that's all footballer wants, a Nando's.
Look, Januzaj is like one of the big, you know, the big hopes for Manchester United, and he took his birthday.
There you go. That's all it's about.
Ross, if you're looking, you want to be a boss, go to Nando's. We're not getting paid by Nando's.
Might be after this.
Yeah. Seriously though, if he wants to do it and he wants to prove himself, he's 20, isn't he? So he could give Everton another 4 years and kind of see where it is. And,
yeah,
you know,
stick with us. It's what we all want to do.
Are we issuing a hands off? We're issuing a hands off, you know. He's not for sale, so turn it in.
Right, you have been watching Toffee TV. Don't forget to subscribe to us. Little button up here. Toffee TV for the Bleacher Report team stream app. We'll catch you next time.